Hello friends, we are first going to talk the last concept of this chapter, that is treatment of byproducts. The treatment of byproducts is more of a theoretical concept which you need to know. In theory it has been asked for 3 marks many times in the older syllabus. So let's focus on this concept, then we'll do some more questions on joint products and byproducts. Now what was a byproduct? Byproduct was a product which was not having significant importance for the management. The management does not want to create it, but because it gets created, they are using it further or selling it to the public. Now the treatment will depend on if the total amount from sale of byproducts is small, or if total amount of from sale of byproducts is considerable. They may not be having significant from management angles. Still, as the example I gave the earlier day, for lubricants, considerable amount they are getting from the sale of that byproduct. So if the amount total received is considerable, then there is different treatment. If amount received is small, then there is a different treatment. So I am writing the treatment when the amount is small. Possible treatments. Many treatments are allowed. Put to the credit of profit and loss account as the amount that is received from sale of those products put on the credit of P&L account as either miscellaneous income or additional sales revenue. Second possible treatment, instead of putting on credit side of P&L account, deduct the sales revenue from either total cost or joint cost or cost of goods sold, etc. Either you deduct the sales revenue from cost or treat it like miscellaneous income. They are the possible treatments for byproduct if the sale value in total is small. If it is considerable, treat it just like joint products and provide cost apportionment to byproducts also just like joint products. So if considerable amount is to be received by sale of byproducts, you are going to use any method of joint cost apportionment and apply it to byproducts also. The companies who follow different policies, what they do, they follow reverse cost method for byproducts, identify cost apportioned to them, and balance cost using some other method they put to the joint products. They define properly the policy differently for byproducts, differently for joint products. So anything is possible if amount realized is considerable. There is one more point there, last point in this byproducts. If byproducts require further processing, in my example also, when you had carbon remnants, you had to process it further to get lubricant. So when byproducts require further processing, sale value at split off is irrelevant. Consider NRV, that is USV minus FPC. I have defined these terms in earlier lectures. Ultimate sale value after further processing minus further processing cost FPC. Consider NRV for checking if the amount realized is small or considerable. So based on NRV, decide whether it will go in first treatment or second treatment. They are all treatments of byproducts. Now we reach the next question of your joint products, byproducts concepts. I am reaching illustration number 4 of your institute module. Illustration 4 of ICI module in the chapter of joint products and byproducts. Now this is a comprehensive question requiring apportionment also, requiring some decision making also. Now before I start doing it, I'll make a very small diagram to understand the processes involved there. It says inorganic chemical purchases salt and processes it into more refined products. So basic input is salt. Salt is purchased and is processed further by incurring so much of cost, and it produces more refined products like caustic soda, chlorine, PVC. Let me read further before making the diagram further. In month of July, inorganic chemicals purchased salt of 40,000, conversion cost of 60,000 was incurred up to split top point, at which time 2 saleable items were produced. Chlorine can be further processed into PVC. Now what is happening here? Note carefully. At split top point, they are getting only 2 products. The 2 products are known as caustic soda and chlorine. This chlorine is further processed into PVC. No doubt there are 3 products, but they are not all 3 produced at the point of split off. This is the point of split off where you are getting caustic soda and chlorine. Chlorine is further processed into PVC. Now let's note the data which is given. You are having salt cost 40,000, conversion cost 60,000, total cost 1 lakh. This is called joint cost. The salt and conversion cost. What is conversion cost? It is labor plus overheads related to processing. Labor plus factory overheads. Material is for 40,000, labor and overhead cost is for 60,000, total joint cost becomes 1 lakh. What they are producing? Caustic soda, 1200 tons. Chlorine, 800 tons. This chlorine is not sold at this point of time. We convert into PVC, which is 500 tons. PVC they are producing is 500 tons. Now I am writing at what rate they could sell all of these. 1200 at the rate of 50 per ton. 500 is sold at the rate of 200 per ton. Now chlorine could have been sold. It is not being sold, but it could have been sold. It is written at the bottom. There is active market for chlorine. Inorganic chemical could have sold July production of chlorine at the rate of 75 per ton. It could be sold. Are they selling it? No. They are converting into PVC. Now what is the cost? All 800 tons of chlorine were further processed at incremental cost of 20,000 rupees to yield 500 ton of PVC. So what they are incurring? They are incurring FPC, further processing cost of rupees 20,000. Now keep in mind, this is not being done. This is only what we are saying if they were selling. So technically this is not being done. I can put a cross on this. This is not being done. 75 per ton. They are further processing and selling further. This is all data here. Let me put data in proper amounts. 1200 into 50. This is sale value at split top point, 60,000. If they had sold at split off 800 into 75, they would have recovered 60,000 here also. They could. Are they doing it? No. I am putting a cross. Only for your understanding I am making all this. In exam you don't put any crosses. You make it. Now what is the sale value of this 500 tons of PVC? 500 into 200. This is 1 lakh. Now my diagram is complete. From this diagram only, I'll be able to solve all the parts of your question. I go to requirement 1. Requirement 1. To calculate how joint cost of 1 lakh will be apportioned between caustic soda and chlorine under each of following methods. A method. Sales value at split off point. What are the sales values? Caustic soda and chlorine. 60,000. 60,000 in ratio 1:1 equal. Hence, joint cost of rupees 1 lakh apportioned 50,000 for caustic soda and 50,000 for chlorine. A part is complete. B method. Physical units method. Now question arises, which physical units? In case of caustic soda, there is no doubt. For caustic soda, there is no doubt. There are certainly 1200 tons which were there. In case of chlorine, there is a doubt because chlorine was produced 800 while PVC from there was produced 500, which was ultimately sold. Remember, under physical units method, we consider units produced at split off point. We do not consider the changes there after separation. When you process further, the units might increase, units might decrease. We are not considering that. So in physical unit method, what I get? Caustic soda 1200 units, chlorine 800 units. This implies 3:2. Joint cost apportioned to caustic soda 1 lakh into 3/5, chlorine 1 lakh into 2/5, 60,000 and 40,000. We are getting joint cost apportioned 60,000 and 40,000. C part of the question. Third method. Estimated net realizable value method. How do you compute estimated net realizable value? It is computed as ultimate sale value less further processing cost. For chlorine, 60,000 less nil. It is 60,000. Sorry, it is for caustic soda, not chlorine. Chlorine, I am selling ultimately for 1 lakh by spending 20,000 FPC. It is 80,000. In caustic soda, there is no FPC because you are selling at split top point only. For chlorine, you are selling PVC, 1 lakh rupees you are realizing, but you are spending extra 20,000 after the split top point, which is FPC. So my NRV is 80,000. 3:4. This is the ratio. Joint cost apportioned to caustic soda 3/7 into 1 lakh, chlorine 4/7 into 1 lakh. I'm getting is 42857.14, 57142.86. These are the answers of this part. This is how you do joint cost apportionment under different methods. Question wants in next part, that is requirement 2, decision making thing. Concentrate on this, very important for your understanding. Requirement 2, decision making. I taught you a table where we computed net incremental revenue, NIR. If it is positive, we should process further. We should make PVC and sell. If it is negative, we must sell chlorine. So question is, I'm reading for you. Lifetime Swimming Pool Products offered to purchase 800 tons of chlorine in August at 75 per ton. Sale of chlorine would mean no PVC will be produced. How the acceptance of this offer will affect my operating income? Let us check. I'll make that table. Then make comment. Ultimate sale value, USV. That is PVC sale revenue. 1 lakh minus sale value at split off means chlorine 60,000. Now due to further processing, what is the increase in my sales revenue? Increase in sales revenue due to further processing 40,000 minus further processing cost 20,000. Net incremental revenue, NIR, 20,000 positive. Conclusion. The company must keep processing chlorine into PVC and hence should not sell chlorine and reject the offer of Lifetime Swimming Pool Products. If offer is accepted, it will reduce the operating income of inorganic chemicals by rupees 20,000. Now student says, sir, you said there is incremental profit, but that incremental is from PVC, not from chlorine. If you stop making PVC and start selling chlorine, you will lose that incremental benefit that you are getting by processing further. Conclusion is keep on processing further. Don't sell chlorine. But if the company still says we will sell chlorine, they are losing monthly operating income of rupees 20,000. I hope the figures were on monthly basis. Yes. So this is the ultimate conclusion in the decision making. In decision making, don't write yes or no. Students say yes, we should process further. Yes, we should accept the offer. No, we are not accepting the offer. We should process further. That is why reject the offer. Only then you can process further. That is a complete illustration number 4 of your institute material. So in the end, I am doing the one practical question which is given in your ICA booklet, the loan question which is given for joint products, byproducts. It's a very good question. It involves apportionment also. It involves decision making also. And it is involving making of some income statements also. Now first I read the question, elaborate on various costs which are given, and then the things will become very easy. It says Sun Moon Limited produces and sells the following products. You are given selling price at split top point, selling price after further processing. After further processing will help you calculate USV, ultimate sale value. Raw material cost 35,90,000 and other manufacturing expenses cost 5,47,000 in the manufacturing process, which are absorbed on the basis of net realizable value. So you need to compute NRV of each product. In the ratio of NRV, you are going to put all these costs. So there are two costs. One is raw material cost. Other is other manufacturing expense. The total of these two costs will be termed as joint cost, to be apportioned in NRV ratio. This is required by the question, not told by me exactly. Further processing cost, FPC given, FPC are also given. This is cost number A, I can call joint cost, which I'll get. B is FPC product wise. Will be used when you compute NRV. NRV is USV minus FPC. From there, I'll be able to get the joint cost apportionment. And very important, C cost given in the end. Fixed cost 4,73,000. Now this is most important thing to follow. Students are always confused in this part, because this is most important thing that you must follow. Students come to me, they say, sir, whenever the cost is given fixed variable, what we use is contribution margin method. Are they right? No, they are not. I said there, when there is fixed joint cost and variable joint cost, then you look for contribution margin method. This is not fixed joint cost. This is cost other than the joint cost that you have apportioned in the ratio of NRV. And method also is written in question, NRV method. You cannot apply the contribution margin method in this question. This fixed cost has nothing to do with product wise. So what I will do, in my income statement, sales less FPC, you get NRV, minus joint cost apportionment, you get profits, but they are profits before fixed cost. Add them all in total column, deduct fixed cost 4,73,000. This 4,73,000 is not to be apportioned product wise, to be kept constant. It is in the example of, in the nature of corporate cost. Nothing doing with the products, separate cost. So it will be kept separate. Will it affect any decision making to sell at split off or further process? No, it will not affect, because it is not being charged product by product at all. Raw material and manufacturing cost, they are being charged product by product. They are joint cost. FPC is incurred also product by product. But this cost 4,73,000 is just to be taken in every income statement to get the bottom line correct, to get total profit of the company correct, it will be charged there. So treat carefully as it is not fixed joint cost. It is not a fixed joint cost. It is just a fixed cost. So keep in mind this point carefully while you do the question. I hope the point is clear. It is not a part of joint cost. It is not a part of FPC. It is a separate fixed cost, corporate fixed cost given to you, which you will be putting in income statement only, nowhere else. Starting with working note. Working note 1. Computation of total joint cost. It comprises two things: raw materials 35,90,000, other manufacturing expenses 5,47,000. So total joint cost I am getting there 35,90,000, 5,47,000, 41,37,000. Now I'll get a ratio. Which ratio? NRV. Because unless I get NRV, I'll not be able to apportion this. So working note 2. Computation of NRV of each product. How many products are there? There are 5 products, A, B, C, D, E. What I put first? Ultimate sale value for A 2 lakh into 25, 50 lakh. 30,000 into 17, 5,10,000. 25,000 into 12, 3 lakh. 20,000 into 10. D is important. Students tend to write nil here. No. If it is sold at split off, the sale value at split off will become USV also. FPC will be 0 there. It will become NRV also. 75,000 into 20. 15 lakh, I hope. Less further processing cost, FPC, given separately 12,50,000, 1,50,000, 50,000. For D it is not written, it is nil for sure because it is sold at split top point only. For E, 1,50,000. Do it carefully. You should not write 1,50,000 under D. So what I am getting is NRV 37,50,000. This is 3,60,000, 2,50,000, 2 lakh, 13,50,000. I hope they are all correct and clear to you. NRVs 3750, 3,60,000, 50,000 and 250, 2 lakh and 13,50,000. Now in this ratio you want to put joint cost apportionment. The question as a part and B part is asking some income statements only. So first I will do working note 3. Working note 3. Apportionment of joint cost. A, B, C, D, E. Now whether they are selling further or not selling further does not matter. Apportionment will remain same. Will be on this basis. 41 lakh 37,000 multiplied by 37 lakh 50,000 whole divided by the aggregate of the NRV is 59 lakh 10,000. 41 lakh 37,000 into 360, 59 lakh 10,000. 41 lakh 37,000 into 2 lakh 50,000 divided by 59 lakh 10,000. 41 lakh 37,000 multiplied by 2 lakh divided by 59 lakh 10,000. 41 lakh 37,000 multiplied by 13 lakh 50,000 divided by 59 lakh 10,000. So what I do on my calculator, 41 lakh 37,000 divided by 59 lakh 10,000, because they are common everywhere. I keep on multiplying by 37 lakh 50,000. I am getting is 26 lakh 25,000. Multiply with 360, I am getting 2 lakh 52,000. Multiply by 250, I am getting 1 lakh 75,000. Multiplied by 2 lakh, I am getting is 1 lakh 40,000. And multiplied by 13 lakh 50,000, I am getting is 9 lakh 45,000. So this is joint cost apportioned. Now I am ready to do part by part all the things in the question. First part is, if none of the product is to be further processed, method remains same, NRV is still computed, ratio is same, joint cost is apportioned, that is okay. But prepare income statement if none of the product is further processed. Means sale value split off, FPC nil, this joint cost, you get product wise profit, add total, deduct 4,73,000, you will be getting the income statement. So I am making part A. Part A or requirement A, you can say. Income statement if none of the products is processed further. How many columns I'll make in the income statement? 1 for particulars, 5 for products, and 1 for total also, aggregate also. That is very important because fixed cost is to be taken there only. So I'm going to put 7 columns. Particulars A, B, C, D, E, total. Now here I start with sales revenue. The revenue I computed earlier will not come here because that was USV. I have to take sale value at split off. I write this calculation only for your understanding. You have to write the exact figures in the exam. 2 lakh this is 2 lakh multiplied by 17, because if it is not processed it will be sold at 17 per unit. 30,000 into 13, 2,50,000 into 8, 20,000 into 10, 75,000 into 14. Let us make calculations. 34 lakh, 3,90,000. This was 25,000. So do it carefully. 25,000 into 8, 2 lakh. This is also 2 lakh. 75,000 into 14, 10,50,000. Add this 34 lakh. I am getting is 52,40,000 total. Check it there. I hope you are getting 52,40,000 as total. There is no FPC, so I can ignore it. They are all being sold at split off, no FPC. Less joint costs. Joint cost we just computed above. 26,25,000, 2,52,000, 1,75,000, 1,40,000, 9,45,000. The total will remain 41,37,000. What I get is profit before fixed cost. So 34 lakh minus 26 lakh 25,000, 7 lakh 75,000, 3 lakh 90,000 minus 252, 1 lakh 38,000. This is 25,000, 60,000, 1050 minus 945, 1 lakh 5,000. If you add them all or deduct 52,40,000 minus 41,37,000, I am getting 11,03,000. Less fixed cost. Now for this purpose, these are closed. Only last column I put 4,73,000. Net profits 11,03,000 minus 4,73,000. I'm getting is 6,30,000. 6,30,000 is the profit of the company. This is the first income statement in first part, A part. Now part B. Part B. income statement if all products A, B, C, E. I'm not talking D because D cannot be processed further. Are further processed. Same type of statement in format new thing will come is FPC. Because earlier there was no FPC, now there will be FPC also. Same number of columns, 7 columns. Let us make it here. Particulars A, B, C, D, E, total. This is particulars. Sales revenue. We computed it earlier. Sales revenue 50 lakh, 5 lakh 10,000, 3 lakh, 2 lakh, 15 lakh. The aggregate of this we computed earlier. We did not compute maybe 75 lakh 10,000. We computed total of NRV only. Minus FPC. What I will get is called NRV. You need to write full names in the exam. I am writing the short names. 12 lakh 50,000. 1 lakh 50,000, 50,000, nil, 1 lakh 50,000. I got total of this FPC 16 lakh. NRV we got 37 lakh 50,000. 3 lakh 60,000, 2 lakh 50,000, 2 lakh 13 lakh 50,000. The aggregate of NRV we got 59 lakh 10,000 minus joint cost. The portion joint cost we had 26 lakh 25,000, 2 lakh 52,000, 1 lakh 75,000, 1 lakh 40,000, 9 lakh 45,000, 41 lakh 37,000. Net profit before fixed cost. Now you deduct, you get net profit before fixed cost 11 lakh 25,000, 1 lakh 8,000, 75,000, 60,000, 4 lakh 5,000, aggregating 17 lakh 73,000 less fixed cost. These will stop here. Here I get 4 lakh 73,000. So what I get? Net profit 13 lakh rupees. You can see if we are processing further, we are getting 13 lakh. If we were not processing, we were getting only 6 lakh odd, 6 lakh 30,000. So it is better if you process further. But still there is a decision making point. The question is asking me, let me read the question carefully in the last. Can you suggest any other production plan whereby company can maximize profits? If yes, submit a statement of income under that plan also. I have seen if I process all of them, my product profit total is more than what I get under no processing further. But I need to check product by product. Decision making I will check in our own way. A, B, C, E. D will not come because D cannot be processed further at all. So what I do, ultimate sale value. Ultimate sale value 50 lakh, 5 lakh 10,000. This was 3 lakh and 15 lakh. Less sale value at split off. Sale value at split off. This is 34 lakh, 3 lakh 90,000, 2 lakh and 10 lakh 50,000. Increase in revenue due to further processing. 16 lakh, 1 lakh 20,000, 1 lakh, 4 lakh 50,000. Less FPC. 12 lakh 50,000, 1 lakh 50,000, 50,000, 1 lakh 50,000. What I get? Net incremental revenue, NIR. Positive 3 lakh 50,000, negative 30,000, positive 50,000, positive 3 lakh. So my profit could be increased by 7 lakh. This. From 630 it could reach 1330 if I don't process B further. Conclusion. Do not further process product B. Only process further A, C, E. D already we are not processing further. Now, if you are doing this, your income will reach 13 lakh 30,000. Let me make income statement last time. Another income statement. Income statement under proposal made. Same columns, copy paste. Particulars A, B, C, D, E, total. What I am getting? Sales revenue 50 lakh. Now B, you don't want to process further. So B's revenue will be without processing further 3 lakh 90,000. C 3 lakh, D 2 lakh and E 15 lakh. Get the total. 5390, this it becomes 73,90,000 minus FPC. 12,50,000 nil, very important. 50,000 nil, 1,50,000. Total is 14,50,000. Here I get NRV 37,50,000, 390, 250, 2 lakh, 1350. So if I add them all, 3750, 390, 250, 2 lakh, 1350. I'm getting is 59,40,000 minus joint cost. Joint cost never changes. 26,25,000, 2,52,000, 175, 140, 945, 41,37,000. Profit before fixed cost. What I'm getting, 11,25,000, 1,38,000. Then you're getting is 75,000, 60,000, 4,05,000, 18,03,000. Now these items will end here, but last column will continue. Less fixed cost, 4,73,000. What I am getting is 13,30,000. So my net profit is going to be increased by 30,000 if I don't process B further. That is a complete, comprehensive, good question for good marks in the exam. 8 marks, 10 marks, something like that. I hope this one is clear.